an Iranian regime that believes that it can get away with this. They're laughing as the United States restrains Israel. They don't fear us right now. This is not a good message for the Russians. It's not a good message for the Chinese. It's not a good message for the North Koreans. There are a lot of people out there that say that this war that Israel's fighting, that they're fighting on behalf of Western civilization. And in some ways, I think they're right, because the Israelis, if they don't win this war outright, and the Iranians live to fight another day, and they're cooperating with the Chinese, they're cooperating with the Russians, there are global implications for this battle. The Israelis didn't want 10-7, they didn't want a war in Gaza, they didn't want a war in Lebanon, they didn't want a seven-front war against Iran and all of its proxies. And every time it looks like the Israelis are making an advance on these proxies or on the regime itself, that's when you start to see the most daylight. And it really just doesn't make any sense. It makes you wonder whether this administration wants to see their allies win. We see the same sort of thing, by the way, in Ukraine.
But a valid question.
It's a valid question, but look, in Ukraine, they're like, hey, Ukrainians, you can't hit Russia inside Russian territory. Israelis, you can't hit Iran's nuclear sites. What kind of message are we sending to our adversaries? It's all about trying to contain the violence, trying to contain war leading up to the elections, and I understand the political considerations, but when you think about the existential issues that we're looking at right now, we're talking about life and death issues for our allies overseas. I got to tell you, all of the other allies that have enjoyed the architecture of the U.S.-led order in the world, they have to be wondering right now, whether it's the Saudis or whether it's the Europeans, they're all wondering, is this the alliance that we want? Now, I will say in the same breath, we have seen missile defense work really well for the Israelis. U.S.-led defense architecture has been great. Offensively, though, we look like we're a bit wild.
If you're back,
or that we want the good guys to come out and prevail.
I think if the red
that Israel should strike Iran's nuclear program and strike regime centers, and I'll explain why. The ultimate strategy that I believe that the world should have is to not allow to Iran acquire a nuclear weapon ever. And how do you do it? By accelerating the toppling of the regime, it will fall, and ensuring that in the meantime they don't acquire a nuclear weapon. So basically you need two efforts: to accelerate the toppling of the regime and to slow down the acquisition of nuclear weapons.
does Israel have the capability, though, to do it alone?
Yes. We can strike and cause considerable damage. I don't know if we can destroy the whole program, but as I said, we have to delay it while we accelerate the pace of the toppling of the regime.
When you say toppling of the regime, I mean, is everything on the table?
Well,
should Israel go after the supreme leader?
Never before was one nation attacked by so many long-range ballistic missiles like what we had just a few days ago. Iran is the Islamic Republic of Iran, to be accurate. The regime, I'm separating it from the people. The people are an amazing people, the Iranians. But the regime is not really a regular regime. It's an octopus of terror. It's the head of the octopus, and we should not take anything off the table.
Including targeting the supreme leader?
Everything should be on the table.
The cabinet is meeting this evening to discuss what to do about Iran. What would you tell them to do?
I would say we have the legitimacy more than ever. We have the ability more than ever. Iran is at its most advanced point in history. It's acquired uranium in an amount for 10 nuclear bombs. This is crazy. They're building the bomb already, the bomb itself. So we're in the 11th hour. I would say strike the nuclear facilities, strike the regime. Don't be afraid. The Israeli nation stands behind you. Shoot thousands of rockets on Iranian citizens like what they did. Is that the proportional? Should we send Israeli soldiers to go and rape Arabs because that's proportional to what was done to us? If we did what was proportional, it would be the most horrendous attack, because what's been done to Israel over the past year is crazy. So it's much less than what they did to us. Because Iran, through its tentacles, raped, burnt families, kidnapped people, shot thousands of rockets on Israel. We're not going to do that to Iran. What I think we need to do is take out its nuclear program and its regime.
Trash can of history, it is filled with those who have tried and failed to destroy the Jewish people. From the Pharaoh to the Haman, to the totalitarian socialist dictators of Hitler and Stalin, all of them have been defeated. And yet the Jewish people still go on. I don't know what the world will bring tomorrow. I don't know, much less 100 years from now. But I do know this, that 1,000 years from now, whatever is going on Fridays, as the sun goes down, there will be a Shabbat in Israel. Those songs will still be sung. The Jewish people will go on, and they will still say, Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you.